What up, Card Kingdom family? Kenji back for some more drafting here on Arena. Magic Online is not working for me for some reason with the new set release, but it is working on Arena, so we're going to give you one of these drafts here on Arena for this week, and it will be of the new set. This is Murders at Karlov Manor. I've got about 5 drafts under my belt so far, and have done a pretty good job. Remember, this is a format where you can open up to 3 or 4 rares and mythics in your packs. We have 2 rares in this one. We have one of the new dual surveil lands, and we also have one of the new case cards. When this enters the battlefield, discard a card, then draw 2. If you have no cards in your hand, it solves at the beginning of your end step. At the beginning of your upkeep, discard your hand, then draw 2 cards. So, not a very good card here. We have like Lightning Helix if we want to just take that. You'll remember this as a reprint. I don't have much time to go over this particular pack, but yeah, so there are going to be some new mechanics and some returning mechanics here as we get past a case of the Pilfered Proof. So again, cases are these enchantments. They're not quite like sagas. They have an ability when they first enter, then they have a condition that needs to be met to quote-unquote solve them, and once they are solved, they have another ability of some sort, but they do not solve until the very end of your turn, so you won't get that solved effect until after that point. So disguise creatures are new here. They are a pseudo form of morph, but instead of just being 3 mana 2/2s, they're 3 mana 2/2s with ward 2. So they're actually kind of hard to interact with outside of combat. Quite strong, a lot of the disguise creatures. This one is a pretty cool one as it's also a land that can also fix. Here we're going to probably just take the Gleaming Geardrake. So as this format is dominated by 3 mana 2/2s, anything that comes down a turn sooner is generally pretty good. And yeah, anything that has more than 2 toughness for a cheap casting cost is generally pretty good, because as you can see here, we have like 5 or 6 disguise creatures. The 4/3 Flyer with Disguise, the 3/3 Death Touch with Disguise, 3/2 Flying Vigilance with Disguise, 6/7 Reach with Disguise, so like I said, a lot of disguises. We have a Cornered Crook we can take after taking the Geardrake, which isn't terrible. 5 mana, 5/4, enters the battlefield. You can sack an artifact if you do 3 damage to any target. So lots of clue production in this format. No treasures that I'm aware of, but lots of ways to make clues. I do want to note that a lot of these disguise creatures, so they are 2 colors on the front if you want to just hard cast them, but to flip them up with their disguise cost, frequently you just need to pay 2 of 1 color. So right, I could play, for example, this Fairy Snoop. I could play it in a blue-red deck as a card that I always play as a disguise, and then I flip it up for blue, blue, and 1. I do not need black to activate it. We have a Runebrand Juggler here. That's a good one. This is a new ability called Suspect. If you suspect a creature, it gains menace and cannot block. So it can be really good aggressively, or if you want to suspect one of your own opponent's creatures, then it cannot block is kind of nice. Here's another Suspect creature. Don't think the Frantic Scapegoat's any good. Another cycle of the dual lands with Surveil. I'm going to take the Projector Inspector there. I like this card quite a bit. It is a 3 mana 3/2 that ETBs and loots, and then whenever another detective you control is turned face up, or enters the battlefield, you get to loot as well. We have a Clandestine Meddler here, a Case of the Filched Falcon. This one's unique. Excuse me. We also have a Dramatic Accusation, which is a decent blue tap-down removal spell. But I'm going to try this uncommon because I haven't tried it yet, and red-blue is the colors of like artifacts, so maybe we can try something with that. Like take the Sanitation Automaton here, for example. Again, notably, creatures with 3 toughness that are cheap are actually pretty good as they block so well early in the game. And in fact, maybe I'm supposed to take the Strider because I already have like Lightning Helix worth splashing for. You can see that. See here, a couple of disguise creatures if we wanted to, but I've actually been pretty happy with Scene of the Crime. It's an artifact land clue. that adds 1 mana of any color if you can tap a creature, and you can sacrifice it later on. But after taking Case of the Filched Falcon, I think I like that. That's kind of nuts. Sumala Sentry is really freaking good. So many disguises in the format. That's really late, but given our start, I don't think I can take that. I just take another Projector Inspector here. Fey Flight on the wheel's fantastic. Love this one. Gives the creature flying and +1/+0, and then on the turn that you've casted, it has hexproof. Good trick. I like the flyer here over the Branch of Vitu-Ghazi, but I guess the thinking cap is not bad. We already have 2 detectives, and again, the Case of the Filched Falcon. But I like the flyer. We're gonna go blue-red artifact flyers is my guess here. And Juggler coming back around so late. You can sacrifice a suspected creature. Target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn. That's a good one too. Okay, let's go to pack number 2. Open up a Relive the Past. So only 1 rare in this pack, and this one is not very good. I do want to note that there is, again, the list in this format. So you will see some interesting reprints. Notably, one of the best I opened in my previous draft, Smuggler's Copter. Kind of crazy is in, or at least it's on Arena. You can also get 2 of the same common in packs, and I don't remember the exact reason for that, but yeah, again, kind of interesting. Gadget Technician, one of the better commons in the red-blue deck. 4 mana, 3/2 that makes a 1/1 flyer, but it also has Disguise. Eliminate the Impossible is not a bad combat trick. Decent pack. I'll go ahead and just take the Technician. There is a Escape Tunnel here, which is just like an upgraded Terramorphic Expanse with an extra ability. There's a Bubble Smuggler. Cute little 2/1 for 2, or Disguise flips up for 6 and turns into a 6/5. There are some split cards in the format. I don't know how good this one is. Put a 1/1 counter on each attacking creature you control, or make 3 1/1s with flying for 6. I guess it's pretty versatile. I might try that out. I haven't played that one yet. Just passed back-to-back Buried in the Guardian. This card is also pretty good. Person of Interest isn't bad. It's a 4 mana 2/2 menace because you suspect it, but it also makes a 2/2. So not a bad value card there. Out Cold I've been happy with. So remember, because all of the disguised creatures have Ward 2, things that can't be countered like this, and there are actually quite a few cards that can't be countered, you don't have to pay the ward cost. This is a double tap down with stun, and you make a clue. Sprite's pretty good as well. 3 mana 2/2 flying that taps a creature when it enters, or if you collect evidence. I didn't note this, but this is another new ability, collect evidence. It stuns the creature, and collecting evidence is exiling cards in your graveyard with mana value equal to whatever the collect evidence of the card is. So in this case, it's 6. Wow, what a pack. Pick 6, we're getting another Gear Drake or the Kylox's Volt Strider. This is a really cool 3 mana 6/6, 3 mana 4/4 vehicle that gets a lot of value if you have instants and sorceries, right? Yeah, whenever it attacks you, you may cast an instant or sorcery from among cards exiled with it. If that spell would put into a graveyard, put on the bottom of its owner's library instead. So you do have to pay for it, but it's really sweet. I actually think I'm going to take another Gear Drake, though, because that makes more sense in our deck. Another Person of Interest. So let's put all of our disguise cards at 3, and that's how our curve is looking. We want to take a Felonious Rage #1. Sure. Wow, nice pick 8. Crime Novelist is actually kind of nice in our deck. There's another Gadget Technician as well. Whenever you sack an artifact, put a 1/1 counter on this card and add red. That's pretty good. I think I'm going to try taking that instead of taking another Gadget Technician. Need to get more artifacts. Do not like red herring. This is the right deck for red herring, but not a card I am a huge fan of. I think I'm going to take Eliminate the Impossible here. It's a good trick with everybody playing infinite 2/2s, and it makes that clue. All right, last few pickups here haven't done anything for us. Let's see what pack 3 gives us. And we've opened an Archdruid's Charm, one of the cooler rares in the format. Very versatile, but not going to be for us. There's a curse, or rather a case of the Burning Masks. This card is okay. It's 3 mana for 3 damage to a creature. Now you have to remember though, a lot of times early in the game, you're only going to be able to target 2/2s with Ward 2. So you would need 5 mana for this, which is why we're going to just take Shock. Shock, one of the better removal spells in this format, because again, infinite 3 mana 2/2s with Ward 2. So while Shock often costs 3 mana, that is a good enough rate to make it very good. Let's see, Cryptex. That's not a good one. Going back to my previous point, it's one of the reasons why Murder, while still a good card, is not that exciting in the format. Because a lot of times, you're staring down 2/2s with Ward 2, and you do not want to be murdering them, or you cannot murder them because you don't have access to 5 mana. It's really painful. Convenient Target seems like a fun one to push. Could also just take the Scapegoat here, or another like Granite Witness. I think I like the Granite Witness a little bit more. Oh, Azoni's really freaking good too. 6 mana, 5/4 Menace. Whenever it enters or attacks, you can collect evidence 4 and make 2 2/1 spiders. And then you can sacrifice 4 tokens to surveil 2, draw 2, and gain 2. That card is nice. Guess we probably can't splash the Lightning Helix here. Got another Fey Flight seems good. A second case of the Filched Dragon. Or do we want to just take Restless Detective? I kind of want to just take the Restless Detective. This card has been really impressive as well, oddly. It doesn't look like much, but again, it is a 3 toughness creature early on. And you can sacrifice clues without having to pay mana, or you can rummage with it. Let's get the Thinking Cap now. Don't think Knife is very good. I don't think the Mask Maker is any good either. People have played this quite a bit against me. And sometimes it, like, if your opponent's on the play and they go turn 1 Mask Maker, turn 2 Disguise, sure, they got you. But generally, I think it's pretty bad. Let's take another Projector Inspector here. This is 3 mana for target creature gets +3/+0 on first strike and investigate. I don't think that's worthwhile. Pretty late Inside Source. This is a great 3-drop for white. 3 mana for a 1/1 and a 2/2. Don't think we're playing Forensic Researcher. I guess maybe the Escape Tunnel. 5 mana, 5/5. That whenever it attacks, if it's not suspected, you can suspect it. Seems mid. Okay, can just play the Crocodile if we want to. Another Crocodile or Convenient Target. A little bit sad we didn't get another Gadget Technician, because I did pass that one, but seems like this deck is good enough. I'm debating if I want to play this Fuss card. A 1/1 count on each attacking creature you control, or for 6/3 1/1 flyers. Is that good enough? I don't think it is. I'm wondering if the Convenient Target is worth playing. It is very aggressive. That might be worth playing. I guess we don't need the Gravestone Strider anymore. It's not really fixing in this deck since we're just 2 colors. It is an artifact, though. we have the dream here. If we go turn 1 Case of the Filch Dragon, turn 2 Gear Drake, that's already 3 artifacts on the battlefield. And then turn 3, we could turn one of our artifacts into a 4/4 flying. I like just cutting the Strider, though. So we want heavier blue. Yeah, because both of these Granite Witnesses, for example, are double blue to flip up. Okay. Red-blue pseudo-artifact theme here for this Murders at Karlov Manor draft. We're on the play. Hand looks fine. Turn 1 Thinking Cap. We have 2 detectives in our hand already. What is this? Connecting the dots. Whenever a creature you control attacks, exile a top card of your library face down. You cannot look at it. Discard your hand, sacrifice it, put all cards exiled with it into your hand. I don't know if that card is actually any good. Seems like constructed fodder. Alright, there's their face down card. Let's go ahead and equip our detective for 1. And then I think we're just going to get aggro. We're going to play the Crime Stopper Sprite here. Get a loot off of our Inspector. Let's discard the second Inspector. Two 1 for 2 with Surveil 1, sure. I'll try to do my best to hover over stuff here. Case of the Getaway Express. Alright. When this enters the battlefield, choose target creature you don't control. Each creature you control deals 1 damage to that creature. 3 or more creatures attack this turn, and then solved, their creatures get +1/+0. I think this is probably worth it. Sacrifice our Thinking Cap. I mean, obviously we would rather sack a clue like we get off of the Eliminate the Impossible, but... Binding's unfortunate. It's a 3-mana enchantment that exiles a creature and they gain 2 life. That's a good draw. So we can play it face down for 3 red and then flip it up for 2 blue. That's going to be a 3/2 Flying Vigilance. No blocks. I will say that, I mean, they can draw 3 cards with that right now. Oh, they have the bother card, sure. I'm guessing they're going to double block our 3/2 and we can get them with Eliminate. Great. Alright, they're going to try to target my Witness, and then we're going to Fey Flight it up, give it hexproof. I mean, that connecting the dots is going to draw them 4 cards, so maybe I shouldn't have crap talked it so much. Yikes. Alright, that's not terrible. I assume they're going to chump this turn. Oh, that's also pretty good. Yeah, I mean, they're going to draw 5 off that connecting the dots, I guess. Said the card was bad, but we just let them attack with a 2-2 every single turn, and gonna kind of get wrecked by it. It's funny. Actually, they're gonna draw 6? Oh my god. Well, yeah. Talk crap, get smack. They have a novice instructor maybe too? No. It's pretty good. Could just let the trade happen here. Develop out my board. Yeah, let's just let the trade happen. Finally block one of their things. It is a... Oh, 3-2 double striking trampler. Oh god, I might be dead here. Just another shock kills us or whatever. I need to draw Felonious Rage. Felonious Rage wins. No! Alright, GG's. Yeah, talked crap about that rare, and I still don't think it's very good, but that was very good this game. I could have definitely played that differently too, that entire game. For example, if I don't sacrifice my investor's cap, or whatever it's called, investigator's cap, thinking cap, our creature can attack a lot better. I mean, all I did was kill a... You know what I should have done? I should have just played out the 5-4 and not sacrificed the thinking cap. That would have been better. Our thinking cap was better than their stupid 2-1. That was my mistake that game for sure. Oh well, good beats. Let's go on to game number 2. We're on the play with a nice looking hand. Turn 2 detective, probably going to get in for quite a bit of event. This is just an insane 2-3-4 curve, actually. He's a detective as well, so we can put the thinking cap on him. There's an island and a forest, and they played out. Beginning of combat on your turn. May collect evidence 4 when you collect evidence, investigate, sure. Let's discard. Now let's discard the Granite Witness. And we're just going to play out our 3-mana 2/2 flyer here. Just curve purposes. Projector Inspector for them, so they get to loot. I guess we're not going to use that, are we? Let's just go to combat, discard the case. Oh, they didn't even block. Alright, that's good. Turns out I would have drawn the way to trigger the case, though. Following turn. Crime Stopper Sprite of their own, but that's not going to lock anything down this turn, though I will take 5. Assuming they decide to attack. They discarded a second Evidence Examiner. Where are my lands? Alright, let's equip here. We get to attack with all, sacrificing the clue, drawing a card and triggering the Gear Drake. Actually, now I think I'm going to Fey Flight my Detective and push, because that's going to give it flying this turn, so their only profitable block is Sprite on Gear Drake, and they still take 6. I might kill him next turn. Spilling my drink all over myself because I don't know how to put a cup to my lips. Is this the enchantment that taps a creature and keeps it locked down? It is. That's fine. They didn't collect evidence, so they have better utility for that, I guess. There's our lands. I think it's okay to discard the crook there. And again, Fey Flight gives flying next turn as well, so I'm not too concerned about them dealing with my detective and me not having lethal a different way. Because putting this Fey Flight on any of our other creatures will give it flying, and then Felonious Rage will add the 2 extra damage. 1 or more creatures leave your graveyard, create a 2/2, and then investigate. Okay, that's pretty good. They get to collect evidence 4 there, and then make a 2/2. Yeah, they have a lot of synergy. They're dead, but they have a lot of synergy. Yeah, now they're just dead on board, right? Oh, not quite, but in any case. That will be that. Nice. So there are decks in this format that can be very fast, but generally I think this format plays a little bit slower. Kind of more like old cons, just because, again, everybody, or most decks, are trying to play 3-mana 2/2s. So, actually, 2-mana 2/2s, like actual bears in this format, can oftentimes deal a lot of damage or trade up. It's kind of silly. Okay, this hand's fine. Just creature curve out, basically. Meticulous Archive. Binning a forest. And the escape tunnel, sure. Oh, they're playing a lot of colors. Blue, white, black, green. Maybe they have Niv Mizzet. Here comes a 3-mana 2/2. No, a 2-mana 1/3. Interesting. Yeah, I guess we're gonna rummage away a mountain here. Oh boy. Well, nice to have these looters helping us through this flood. Topiary Panther's a nice one. 6-mana 6/5 trample, but it has basic land cycling. Yeah, they're all 5 colors. Very cool. Let's just double loot. If they play a Niv Mizzet turn 5, you just gotta give props to them. They would need another blue or white source here. 4/4 Vigilance, add red-green, spend only to cast face-down spells or to turn creatures face-up. Okay. So we're gonna go face-down, and then flip it up, get a double loot, plus tap down their Tin Street Gossiper. I do actually want to put a little bit of something in my graveyard, though, for the Crime Stopper. So I think I'm going to discard the Crocodile here. Oh, that's going to be another really good one, Out Cold. Now, there are a few Wrath effects in this format. There is a black 5-mana destroy all creatures with extra abilities. There's a 4-mana white Wrath effect with some extra ability, and there's also a blue-red kind of Wrath. You have to discard a card, and then it deals damage based on that card's converted mana cost. But face down card with a green open. Okay, so we can just kill them here. They have Case of the Locked Hothouse, which is insane if you can survive long enough for the solve, which they do have. But we just have access to tap down, and attack for 11. So, they were trying to do something cool over there, and I'm just like, no, I'm gonna beat you down. But yeah, going back to that case that they had. 4 mana, you can play an additional land on each of your turns. That's not relevant. You need 7 or more lands to solve the case, and when you solve it, this is when things go insane. You can look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may play lands and cast creature and enchantment spells from the top of your library. So, if you get to untap with that once it's been solved, and get any amount of value, you're generally winning that game. But again, it's getting to that point that's difficult. Okay, 2-1. All right, had a bit of a bug out there, but we're back for our next game. We're on the play with a hand that looks to be a mulligan. There we go, that's a lot better. We're just going to pitch the Crocodile here. Turn 2 Gear Drake, turn 3 Spectre is the plan. Hopefully the video file is not corrupted. Yeah, this card's really good. Speaking of really good, they have the Sumala Sentry, and that one's got reach. So, cannot be attacking into that. Ooh, the Novelist. Cool. Playing the branch out as a land. Yeah, there's their face down card. Another Inspector. Let's double loot this turn. And I'm actually going to pitch the Novelist now. Probably don't need both of those flights. Yep, the Gardener. It's going to put a 1/1 counter on both those things. Don't love to see that. Let's see. Has hexproof as long as it's your turn. Can't be blocked by creatures that don't have a name. Okay. I feel like we're in really bad shape here. I'm debating if I want to just Bayflight and attack for 4 in the air. I think I'm going to do that. And if they trade, that's fine. Okay, I'm actually pretty happy that thing's off the battlefield. This puts 2 1/1 counters on a creature, or up to 2 1/1 counters, distributes. This one's really hard to beat if it flips too. We're gonna have to try to race it, and I don't know if we have a good way to do that, because now when they start attacking, they're gonna get a 1/1 counter on a creature, and it's gonna gain trample. Yikes. Ugh, and they have a trick in their hand. Yeah, this game's pretty over. Like, I'm forced to block here, in essence, and they use, like, +3/+3 trample, or +2/+2 investigate. Yeah. That's gonna flip or solve their case, and we just lose from there. Yeah, we don't have a way to beat that. Ooh, we got demolished that game. Thought my opening hand was decent, but not so hot after all. Okay, 2-2. We need to get a few more wins to feel comfortable. I think our deck's solid enough to do so. Alright. Let's try to salvage a few wins if we can. Nice hand. Nice hand, very much so. This is a very good aggressive hand. So we're going to play turn 2 Reckless Detective. Turn 3 we equip it. I play the Gear Hulk and sack the Clue. Trigger the Gear Drake. Yeah, this is a fantastic curve. I've been really happy with this Reckless Detective. I think this is one that's probably going to go up in value once people realize how solid it is. That is some nice value already. Like if my opponent just plays 3 mana 2/2 here, how are they gonna win? How? Yeah. Love it. Alright, let's go to combat. Gonna discard one of these projectors. That's all 3 of them again. Sure, it's a 3/3 Death Touch. Let's see. So we can flip this up, give it flying, tap down their 3/3. Combat. Discard another projector. Okay, they're gonna need the Wrath, and if they don't have it, we win. If they do have it, we might just lose. This was a pretty incredible start for us, though. So both the Witness and the Inspector are detectives, so we can move the Thinking Cap for 1 mana. Okay, that was a good answer. 1 mana, kill a creature. Hard-hitting question and another face-down card. I'm not sure what they can do for 1 green here. So I think I'm just going to go for lethal. Nice. Okay, that works. We will take it. 3 wins. 3 and 2. Remember, on Arena, they have both best of 1 and best of 3 options. And best of 3 is unranked, best of 1 is ranked, oddly, but that's why we are playing best of 1 currently. Alright, on to game 6. Another very nice hand for us. Good. Hey, even the turn 1 Thinking Cap again. So once again, we're going to go with the turn 2 Reckless Detective. Ooh, I hope they get to flip this one. This is a fun one. It enters and searches for a basic land. To solve it, you have to have 5 colors among permanents you control. which isn't the hardest thing to do when, again, you have a bunch of these morph or disguise creatures that have, you know, multiple costs, and you can play them in like two color decks or whatever. But damn, we really wanted to hit a land there. Guess let's go to combat and discard the Crocodile. Dang it. Because I wanted to play the Crime Novelist out if we could. Because I think our Gear Drake's probably going to get shocked. They already have 4 different basics. Yeah, there's the shock. Another face down, sure. Alright, land is good. So we can attack with Detective. Sack our clue. No blocks. Let's see what they got. Okay, no flippies of the disguises. Another face down card. Sure. Maybe Galvanize on my Detective, maybe? That's 2 mana, 3 damage, or 5 damage if you've drawn a card. Yeah, it's too bad. Okay, I guess we can go Inspector, loot, and then equip the cap. Oh, this card's insane. Whenever this enters or attacks, choose up to 1 target creature. If it's suspected, exile it, otherwise suspect it. So that's kind of nuts. So now it's a menace creature that cannot block, so there's no reason not for us to attack here. And I think we just pass and out cold them. Yeah, Agris Coast is kind of nuts. Jeez. Okay, we're going to have to Fey Flight that in response. They have the mind control effect. This is a target effect, though. So we can deny them killing our Inspector. In fact, do I have lethal next turn? I'm very close to killing them by protecting my Inspector and giving it flying. Oh, weird. Okay. Well, I guess we will just not block then and take 6. Then we want to Fey Flight here. Attack for 8. And out cold them. Remember, this card can't be countered, so I don't have to pay the ward. Then they would need to find 4 extra points of damage, which I don't think was too easy. Nice. Both of our creatures are lethal here, too. The Inspector's lethal by itself, but the Novelist, all I have to do is, like, sack one of the clues, and it's also lethal. We get him? Fairy Snoop, looking for something. Okay. That does block one of the flyers. Good game. Woof! Scary, scary. We take those, though. And now we're 4-2. Okay, good. Getting to 4 wins is really all that really matters in Arena Draft, because that gets you your entry fee back. Once again with the turn 2 Gleaming Drake. God, I'd love it, but we don't have our turn 1 in turn 1 case. Be a great draw. Undercity Sewers. Slice from the Shadows. Good black removal spell, because again, it can't be countered, so plays nicely against the ward creatures. Oh, I guess we're going to do this instead. There's the case. It is the Moroi 4/2 flyer. ETB lose 3 life, but of course, if they play it like they did, it was already on the battlefield. It simply flipped. Man, everybody's got mind controls. Okay, let's see. So I'm going to block the Moroi and go for Felonious Rage. You can pay 3 and make a 4/4 flyer with one of our artifacts next turn. 2 rare lands. Look at them. Okay. Keep it lifelink, that's fine. I get to trade with it and make a 2/2. That wasn't too bad. Okay, let's turn one of the clues into a 4/4 flyer. And smack down Charlie Brown. Hopefully they topped another removal spell that we get to just Fey Flight and ruin. Sure, they do gain 2 lifelink here. Alright. Go for the murder protection. One card left in their hand. We have lethal flying now. Sacrifice the creature with the greatest power. Damn. This is a detective, right? It is. Okay. It's a good draw as well. Hit him down to 2. And we have the win any number of ways next turn. Convenient target, giving us back the... Yes, perfect. The menace, or we just out-cold both their creatures. Very good. Okay. Things are starting to pick up a bit there for us. What are we, 5 and win now? 5 and 2 now? Excellent. Go, go, baby, go. Let's see if we can keep the heat. Keep drawing our Gear Drake, it's nice. Where's the turn 1 enchantment to make it go off? Another first play gonna be a 3-mana 2/2. Ah, we have another. Inspector themselves. Discards a ramp investigate. Don't think we're trading here. We have person of interest to make a good blocker for the inspector, plus our face down card turns into a 5/5 Crocodile. I'm just gonna play out a 4/4. Oops. Cycle Panther, that means they need land, maybe a 3rd color. Splashing very, very easy in this format. 3-color decks are pretty normal. Untapper or tapper, sure. That's really good with random 3-mana cards. quite happy to trade there. Alright, let's attack. Flip up, hit him for 8. Get another clue for our Drake. Oh, they have a 6-mana play. Oh, they have a Zoni! Okay, that makes things rough. That makes things quite rough. Sheesh. I mean, I guess this has menace and can't block, so I might as well attack with it. These have reach, so I can't try to get them quite yet. They get to make 2 more spiders here. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, Zoni's pretty gross. I don't think it's worth Fae flighting that. We just want to gain 6 life here. So instead of taking 11, I'm going to be taking 5. I mean, I'm still pretty screwed. Oh, they have a counter. Jeez. Unless I pay 5. Well, I guess we just lose. Yeah, Izoni's nuts. Oh, that has Menace by itself, too. I didn't even realize that at first. Good beats. But hey, you know what? I'm happy with 5 and 3. I think our deck was solid, but not amazing. Had some good draws. Never really got to do the case into the Gear Drake plan, but hey, that's a little peek at this new Murders at Karlov Manor format. Again, a lot of decks are slower playing like just random 3-mana 2/2s, but I think this format's going to be pretty interesting. I haven't played enough yet to say my overall, like a really well-informed opinion, rather. But my initial review is that it's probably going to be pretty decent. We'll just see how it goes as time plays out. Anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you back next week for some more. Bye-bye.